What's going on, my PT peeps and my Game of Thrones fans? One Eyebrow back to talk about Game of Thrones, Season 8, the series as a whole, Episode 804, 5, 6. We're going to talk about a lot of things. If you're worried about spoilers, please stop watching now. Spoiler warning for the entire series of Game of Thrones and definitely Season 8. Now let's talk about Season 8, Episode 5, as it just aired a couple minutes ago. I thought it was very, very interesting, but I got questions. I thought the episode was entertaining, exciting, all the good things, but we lost some more people. We lost the Hound, we lost the Mountain, we lost Varys, Cersei, Jaime, who else? Qyburn, a bunch of people from King's Landing. But what does it mean for the Season 8 finale, series finale? The entire finale of the Game of Thrones TV show is coming next week, and it's kind of crazy. Now, since Arya is still alive and Cersei is gone, is Arya going to take out Daenerys? And we all hoped, well, most of us hoped, that Arya was going to take out Cersei, and were you kind of let down by Cersei's death? And fire everywhere, Dracarys everywhere. It was kind of like a battle that really wasn't a battle at all. The siege was pretty easy to take over King's Landing. The Scorpions did nothing to Drogon, and Drogon survived. So how is that going to happen next week? Maybe Drogon lives. We'll be pretty excited. But King's Landing is pretty tore up. Overall, it was a bunch of fire everywhere. The Mad Queen has arrived. Burn them all. Burn them all. And who's going to take out Daenerys? Somebody most likely. But we lost all three of these people right here. The Mountain, Cersei, and Qyburn. What'd you think of that? I thought Cersei's death was a little underwhelming. Yeah, right. It was a lot underwhelming. I wanted her to burn up or get taken out by Arya or something big. She died in the arms of Jaime, and it was like, all right, I guess that's how she's going out. And Jaime as well. I guess the prophecy didn't happen. Now I have a question. How and where and when did all these Dothraki survive? I thought they were taken out in the battle here in episode 803 at Winterfell, because we saw all the Dothraki swords on fire, and that was a lot of the light for that scene, and then they were out. So I was assuming that they were all killed. But there was a lot of Dothraki, a lot of Unsullied. And what? They didn't even need them, because Daenerys was a one-woman wrecking crew. The Mad Queen for sure. She was burning up the boats, burning up the Scorpions, burning up people left and right, and really tearing up King's Landing. Pretty crazy stuff. But it was cool because Drogon and Dany are pretty great. I think they're some of the best parts of the show. But they're really setting up Aegon, and Dany to go at odds with each other, along with Arya. But the burning of King's Landing was pretty great. You saw the wildfire, and you saw the dragon fire, and you saw just Dracarys everywhere, like Missandei said. Dracarys. Now we got the Clegane Bowl. And it was pretty cool. It was pretty awesome. It was a good send-off. I thought they would both die, and they did. But they just made the Mountain so superhuman. And it's like, come on, Hound. Get him in the brain with the knife. Not the chest and the side and the arm. And then you get him in the eye. And the Mountain's like, yep, I'm good. But the Mountain versus the Hound, we finally got it. And it was pretty great. Did you think it was awesome or not? And I have to say, the whole Cersei, Jaime thing was like, all right, I see what they're doing here. They're playing the connection in the card with Cersei and Jaime and just trying to wrap up everything. The Mountain versus the Hound with the Oberyn thing, that was kind of reconnecting things. Jaime and Cersei reconnecting. They're just trying to wrap everything up as a series as a whole, and you have to hand it to them. They're doing a pretty good job with it. Cersei and Jaime going out the way they did, I guess it's pretty good, but I just think Cersei should have went out in a worse way, right? With Arya, but I did like that the Hound told her to go away and to survive. If you come with me, she would have died. And I'm glad she's alive, and they really focused on her running around King's Landing and getting on the horse, and we'll see what happens next week. But I think big things will happen with Arya and Dany and Jon and everybody in the series finale next week. And as I make this video, I just watched the episode, a couple of minutes ago, and I'm still processing the episode and everything, and it just takes me back to season 7 when Jaime and Cersei were talking. And it just was like, I just thought Cersei and Jaime were going to be at odds with each other still, and that Jaime was going to fulfill the prophecy, and it didn't happen. And I guess it's all right, but both of them are gone. As for Dany and Tyrion and Dany and Jon and Dany and Arya, it's one big mess. And we'll see what happens in the series finale next week. But Dany is the Mad Queen, that's for sure. Kind of felt bad for Varys a little bit, but he went against her. And Dany's not going to stand for that too. So we'll see Jon probably going against Dany and what's going to happen there. As for Tyrion, he basically gave her the wrong advice all the way through and got a lot of people killed and told her one thing and this happened and told her another and that happened. And then Dany's like, I'm going to do what I want and I'm going to succeed. And she did, but against the wishes and strategy of Tyrion. Tyrion was all about saving the people of King's Landing. And as I watched the episode, this shot is like, there's going to be Tyrion versus Dany. It's just they're going to be at odds with each other. And especially since Tyrion let Jaime go, does it even matter, right? I mean, Dany won and it doesn't matter, but Dany's not going to stand for that. Dany is basically the Mad Queen, and she won and she succeeded. We'll see what happens in the finale, but I know that Tyrion, Jon, Davos, Arya, basically everybody associated with Jon is going to be on Jon's side. But what's going to happen with the Dothraki, the Unsullied, Grey Worm? Is there going to be another battle between the Starks and the North and the Targaryens and the Unsullied and Dany's side, basically? I just can't wait to see what happens. The Golden Company was pretty weak. They were the weakest people I've ever seen in battle because Dany came in and blew them away. And not to say they couldn't fight and they couldn't do this, but that was it. They came, they got burned up, and they were gone. Wow. And you can see Jaime there walking back in. And that was pretty cool. You saw Jaime, the Hound, Arya, and everyone in King's Landing in kind of panic mode and trying to stay alive. And Jon and Davos and everybody were just trying to stay alive. And, you know, when Grey Worm threw that spear and Jon was like, oh, crap, this is terrible. So you saw Grey Worm and Team Dany doing their own thing versus Jon and Davos and Tyrion and really the North doing their thing. And they were at odds with each other. And they're really building that up for next week's episode. But I don't know. Overall, it was just a lot to take in. And we'll see what happens next week. But man, oh man, it was just crazy. As for ringing the bell, it took forever to ring that bell. They were like, ring the bell, ring the bell, ring the bell, ring the bell, ring the bell. Come on, ring the bell. Come on, someone, ring the bell. And then they did. And then Dany's like, nope, fear it is. Dracarys everywhere. It was pretty crazy, pretty interesting. As for Euron Greyjoy, you knew he was going to survive the whole thing with the boat. He jumped off into the sea to magically appear right when Jaime Lannister was there. Pretty interesting. The Scorpions were pretty weak. They built it up with killing Rhaegal. It was like, what? And then they just couldn't hit anything. And I just was watching and waiting for one more Scorpion to be there to take out Drogon, but luckily it didn't happen. And again, guys, the summer of speculation, theories, more theories, and there's no more dragons. It's just Drogon. But again, the Scorpions were pretty weak. They built them up like, oh, they got a chance. And they didn't have a chance at all. I was like, all right, maybe the Golden Company and all the Scorpions, they can do this and they can do that. But Dany burned up the wall, came in right behind the Golden Company, and they were like, all right, we got King's Landing later. And they went in and took King's Landing pretty easily. But it was interesting, and I could see where the theories are going. I'm not trying to hate on the different theories, but it's like everyone's got a theory about everything, and everybody wants to crack the code on YouTube, and this guy's going to say this and get 1 million views and do all that stuff. It's kind of crazy. But I guess the vision came true. We'll see what the condition of the Hall of King's Landing is, but Dany was burning up everything she could think of that had Lannister lions on it. So I think the opening next week will definitely have a different opening with the Targaryen symbol at King's Landing, I would think, right? And I do watch little things here and there, and I'm guessing King's Landing is going to be all burned up. So I'm kind of excited to see the opening for next week. Overall, I thought the episode was good. I just thought there would be more of a battle. And from the battle at Winterfell, after losing all those people and soldiers and everything, and I just thought that Jon and Dany and everybody would need help. So we didn't get Yara, we didn't get Dario, we didn't get any big returns for that. And I guess it wasn't in the budget or the story or the writing. So we got one more episode next week, the series finale of Game of Thrones. So let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Please hit the subscribe button. Become a valued member of our PT channel family. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories. And as always, Dracarys. See ya.